Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakal Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone in the world. And Shalom, Shalom to the brothers out there doing the work of Syrian truth, pushing the word to the four corners. Got this article on the Sun, and, find it amusing because it's, getting people comfortable with hearing about, nukes. Because it's come up a few times when mentioning, conflicts. The fact that, them going nuclear is on the table. And, that's something that hasn't really been a thing. Because even like the whole Iran situation is essentially an issue because it's it's a nuclear level issue, but it's like not really since when the Cold War was at its height, were they really thinking about nukes, thinking about the what's the thing they call, man, the doomsday clock, that's what it's called, and the minutes to midnight and all that. This is what bombers away. China flies 19 nuke bombers and fighter jets into Taiwan airspace for invasion war games, sparking WW3 fears. And yeah, that's the what do you call it? What's got the West on alert really is presently is the Chinese and the Russian expanding their influence. Russia through what's it called now? Ukraine, and China. They did it recently in Hong Kong, and Taiwan is the next spot. And for Russia it was Crimea as the most recent spot. So yeah, they're everyone's, mainly the US, is on its toes, and especially having just completely flopped in Afghanistan. They might have to make a show. But as always, the Middle East still the main hotspot. So it says WW3 fears are mounting after China flew 19 nuke bombers and fighter jets into Taiwan airspace for invasion war games. The latest military incursion on Sunday involved 10 J-16 and 4 Su-30 fighter jets, an anti-submarine aircraft, and 4 H-6 bombers, which can carry nuclear weapons. Taiwan's defense ministry said. So the nuclear bombers. They're moving just south. Taiwanese Air Force responded by scrambling combat aircraft, issuing radio warnings, and deploying air defense missile systems to monitor the activity, the defense ministry added. Chinese aircraft flew in an area closer to the coast of China, roughly northeast of the island of Pratas, according to a map provided by the ministry. China regards Taiwan as part of its territory and has long threatened to use force to bring it under its control. Taipei has been complaining for more than a year about repeated missions in China's Air Force near the island. Earlier this year, China vowed to invade Taiwan and offered a glimpse of a terrifying three-stage plan to pave the way for an invasion force to storm the breakaway island. An invasion would represent a serious escalation of hostilities and could drag the US through its pact. Could drag in the US through its pact to defend Taiwan. So yeah, it's everyone's kind of on their toes. It's kind of looking at like, yeah, would the US get involved? But it's more the because because even with the pact, they might not get involved. But it's more a dance because it depends on if the interest is big enough to warrant going to war for, which I don't really think uh Ukraine or what's it called, or Taiwan are. But that's the main prophecies in the Middle East, man. Iran and State of Israel, they're the two key spots. And that's why it's like that. Iran nuclear deal is still in tatters, and I think recently you had State of Israel bomb the Gaza Strip again. So you might see escalations on that side. And that's really where you're gonna see these things turn up. It says what tensions have been bubbling in seas around China for months, where the US and Japan are reported to have been holding joint military exercises amid fears of a possible conflict. In July, China staged massive military drills, including assault landings and island control exercises, in a bid to demonstrate the communist state's military might over Taiwan. China has described its war games as necessary to protect the country's sovereignty and deal with collusion between Taipei and Washington. Fears of conflict are mounting after Taiwan's defense ministry last week warned China's armed forces could paralyze its defenses. Playing with fire, China told Taiwan it should be trembling as the US won't protect the island from invasion. Yeah, and they said this after the US skedaddled out of Afghanistan as well. Just be like, yeah, they'll leave you just like that. So, whilst America's looking lame, interesting things can go down. We can see how these things escalate. China told Taiwan it should, okay. And another chilling message, Beijing warned the US that it's playing with fire and pledged to crush Taiwan if it seeks independence. Beijing often launches military missions in Taiwan's airspace to express displeasure. Comments made by the island or its shows of international support for Taiwan, especially from the US. Although it's not clear what caused the latest incursion. Yeah. But this is, main thing is hearing about them nukes. Because as far as conflict goes, you don't really hear about them nukes. But that's that's gonna be the key in this in this final world war, this final conflict. Nuclear missiles. Isaiah 54:16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. Yeah, that waster. That's the tool that's going to be utilized in this this final conflict. That those nuclear missiles, because they're basically going to be utilized for chiefly for in the land of Israel and in the States, but it's gonna they're gonna hit all round because they're gonna be fired off, and then counter nukes gonna be fired off. But the main spot that's gonna be taking the brunt of it, that's that America. Joel 2:2. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thickness, as the morning spreads upon mountains, a great people and a strong. They have not been ever the like, and neither shall be any more after, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape. Yeah, those ICBMs where they have the rocket, and then the nuclear warhead on the top. The rocket has the huge processor that comes out the silo, launches up, goes into the atmosphere, and then travels, however far it travels, and then, comes down and re-enters through the atmosphere and hits its spot. This is what the appearance of them is as the appearance in horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Yeah, they're gonna run and fall. It says, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Yeah, just gonna see them moving like the trails through through the heavens. All of them in formation after they get shot, just pew, traveling to their destination. It says before their face, and what does it say as well? It says like the noise of flame of fire that devoureth the stubble. Yeah, because they're gonna consume. It's gonna be like what's her name, man? Sarah Connor, where she gets eviscerated. It says before their face the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Yeah. It says they're gonna climb the wall. So any, dreams of defenses, and it's really, the state of Israel, them guys have the most pride in their defenses, with the Iron Dome defense. Because they even saying like when they had the previous conflict with where's it called, man? With where I think it was Gaza. People in Gaza were shooting the rockets. They caught like 90-something% of them. That's the thing is these rockets. Well, these ICBMs, they're gonna climb the wall, man. They're gonna have no issue with finding wherever the Lord's desired them to land, because they're doing a work. They're doing bringing about the judgment that's been prophesied. That's why it says, "Then they shall not break their ranks." They ain't gonna just get flung and then land in the middle of the ocean somewhere. They're gonna land on point. It says, "Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. They shall fall upon the sword, and they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city, and they shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining." It's gonna hit legendarily, man. Ain't gonna be no means of escaping from no way of beguiling yourself out of the situation. And once they've been sent, it's that. And Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong and executeth his word. For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Yeah. Day is gonna be terrible. Them nukes are gonna be doing a legendary work, and that's what people aren't used to hearing about, man. Them nuclear missiles hitting off. That's the most they're thinking about is North Korea doing missile tests, or they're thinking about the atomic bomb getting dropped on the US, but they ain't thinking about them nukes landing and doing work. But that's what Yahweh Shem Yahushua has in store. like I said, man, it's gonna be a day of darkness. They ain't gonna be. It's not gonna be a delight. Well, it's gonna be a delight for the elect, for his elect. Because why? For us, it's that day we've been dreaming and waiting for. But what for people in the world, the denizens of the world, man? These guys are gonna be an unholy terror. Yeah. But yeah. I'll leave it there, man. Shalom. Yeah, Shalom.